I really, really hope you didn't hear me clear my throat as I was changing the scene, but I fear that you might have. Hello, hi, it's me, Mario. Hi. That's better. Yes, hi, Berry. Hi, Sabine, if you're still here, but you may well have gone by now. But, yes, I hope you're doing well. I want to play some Zelda, so that's what I'm going to do. Yeah. I don't think I have anything to show and tell, but... Oh well, slay. Yeah. I'm excited. I've been enjoying this game. I have a small Echoes of Wisdom confession. That Twinkly Tor did do an Echoes of Wisdom stream this week, and she's further ahead in the game than me, but I watched it because I don't care. I wanted to watch something with Vic because I missed her. So I do know a little bit of what happens in like 2 streams time, basically. I know what's gonna happen. Which I believe Vic said is after I do what I'm gonna do today. It might be that stuff. So I already know, but that's fine. I don't mind that. I can watch that. What? I can still enjoy that. But yeah, no, it'll be good. It'll be good. But yes, how are you, Barry? I hope you're doing good. Words, I know. I know. Sorry, I'm playing around on my Switch, which you can't even see yet. Hee-hoo. Haha. I'm just browsing the eShop, okay? Doing good, inhaling juice. Ooh, what juice? This is important to me. What juice do you have? There are no right answers, but there are wrong answers. Apple and mango, that's okay. Like, the mango's thrown it a little bit, but that's okay. I'm okay with that. You're doing great, lovely. Usually it's orange. Good. That is a good answer. To be fair, I don't drink drinks at this hour particularly, do I? But, you know. Yeah. Oh, I have another story for you from work, Berry. Well, it maybe just us here. You know the Lego Roses guy? Yeah, he came back in today. Yes, I love this. He came back in. He did. Yeah, this was surprisingly not at the crack of dawn this time because Dan was in, and she only started at like, I think you know when he started. Did he get anything? No. He went straight over to the exact same place where he got them from last time. You know, what a fucking surprise. And Mark was in. And you know how Mark has no fear. Dipstick, literally. Mark fully like shouted over to him, "Oh, you're looking for these, mate?" For the Legos. Because like Mark recognised him. So, "Oh, you're looking for these, mate?" And the guy, oh my god, he was like, "Oh, yeah. I said, "Oh, is it the roses one?" Fuck. And the guy was like, "Oh, yeah. Do you want to have a look?" "Oh, yeah. I'll have a look." "And do you want to pay for the one you nicked last time?" "Oh, yeah. I'll pay for it, mate." As he's walking out the door, like, "Oh, yeah. I'll pay." So he's not coming back in again because Mark's put the fear of God into him. But what the fuck have I just done? I've accidentally pressed A. Oh well. But yeah, no, Dan said the camera must have like a filter on it because the guy was like on the cameras we thought he was normal. In seeing him in person, apparently no, he's proper dodge. So yeah, okay. But yeah, so we know him, and he evidently knows that we're onto him now, so that's nice. I can get Xenoblade icons. If Soda Blue was here, I'd be like, oh my god. I feel like Soda Blue's icon has already been one of the characters that I'm seeing right now. Oh, piss take song, let's go. Literally Soda Blue summoning circle. Oh, it was so nice the other day, Berry, when we all got to chat in the Vic stream. Oh, it was lovely. Having the whole squad there. Apart from Male. Male, if you see this, I love you and miss you. But everybody else... Oh. Oh, shit. Right, okay, so... I've had a message from Potato's flatmate. And, Barry, do you remember that one time on Snapchat we were like, oh my god, you can see when you sideswipe. Apparently, on Potato's flatmate, Emma. Emma's name's in a username, isn't it? Apparently on Emma's phone you can see it, so I don't want to sideswipe, but I really want to because, like... Oh, fuck. It's like a whole essay. Oh, no, yeah, I'll explain to you very off stream. But, no, I'm sending that to you. Send it to Emma. Okay. Right, yeah, no, today was, the day. So Emma was stressed and we were, like, messaging before work. So, that's something to do after stream. If it was like a little message, I'd reply, but like, I saw how long that was and, no. But yeah. What's this music? Oh my god, hang on. Hightail Falls, nice. Okay, I should actually play some game as well. Do I have any more stories from work? I don't think I do, because I saw you yesterday. Yeah, no, I don't think I've got much more from today, really. It was chill, it was alright. I did. Okay. Let's play some Zelda, because I would like to do that. Yeah, only one more day. I know you're counting down. Oh, hi, Emma. Hello. I really was not trying to summon you to the stream. I just, like... Because I know you can also see, like, the side swipes. I, like, side swipe because if it was a little message, I would have replied. And my whole phone screen was text, and I was like, oh. Okay, so... We do not have to talk. I hope everything's okay. If it hasn't gone okay and I've not read it yet, nah. But yeah, I hope it went okay. And yeah, thanks for being here. We're going to play some Zelda. I've only just started, so we've just yacked for a little bit. But yes, I'm going to play some Zelda. We're going to do the next dungeon. I think we're doing the next dungeon today. So that should be fun, because, yeah, Zelda's great. Okay, let's do that. But yeah, I've already said, I hope you're okay, and love you. Sorry, that was a lot of words. Oh yeah, I'm in Gerudo Town. Oh, what? Yes, load. Oh, thanks, friend. I appreciate it. Yeah. I am a cat, is where we left off. I am a cat. I'm very happy with this game and happy with my life choices. Just kidding. Hee, I'm Zelda. But the cat's very cute. I wish this game's camera, I could, like, you know, angle it. I wish I could, like, angle it down. Okay, it was hefty, but it wasn't a disaster. I'm so glad, because I know that you were stressing, and yeah, I'm glad it wasn't a disaster, because yeah. Right, what am I doing? Who am I? Where am I? What's going on? Oh, I'm going over there. Okay. Warriors were swallowed up by the rift that grew larger in the eastern part of the desert. Chief Sarah rushed from the palace in a panic, with Donna following after her. Okay. Let's do that. Eee. Yeah, it's fun. What's that? Oh, it's a bird. It's like a bird on the rock. I was like, what's that? But it's a bird. We're good. Oh, stop it, you. You have no remaining brain cells, but you're starting a comfy coloring session. Oh, enjoy. That sounds lovely. Can you stop following me? P-hat, go. Go. Ah! Oh, I pressed the wrong thing. Is it usually that button? Like in the... Oh, I can't remember. But yes, you deserve a cozy, comfy time, because... Ooh, it sounds like a lot today. Nice. I might need brain cells today, because if we're doing a Zelda dungeon, that is brain cell territory. Ew, you're nasty. Oh, this way. I forgot. I like the ripple effect. Anyway. Oh! Oh no. Oh, this has gone quite badly wrong. Oh, they don't actually damage me. That's not horrendous then, is it? Where'd it go? Don't care. Oh. I don't think they're the enemy to use right now. Go. Huge. Okay. Nice. Thank you. Yes, and show me your colouring once it's done. Wait, so is there going to be a boss in this somewhere? Because that would be cool. No, there isn't. Okay. Hello. How could this happen? Those people got taken by the rift, so this is what folks mean when they said stolen away. Isn't there some way to save them? Oh my god, yes, I love her hair. Our warriors are inside the rift. Don't get too close. You say, stood right next to her. We've got to save them, but how? Look at her hair. Look at Sarah's hair. Oh my god. For Set, following your counsel, we have tirelessly worked to defeat the monsters. Tell me then, why has the rift gotten bigger? Perhaps we've yet to defeat enough monsters. Chief Sarah, it's dangerous here. Let us return to the palace with haste. Don't be absurd. Our soldiers have been taken. Do you really think I'd leave them behind? Well, Girl, what is wrong with you? Hello. It's the same dialogue. Hey, you, stranger. You can get rid of rifts, right? Can you save my friends who vanished too? I've heard that anyone who vanishes into a rift is never seen again. What can we do? Our warriors are inside the rift. Why'd it get bigger? My friends, they've been pulled in. I have to save them, but how? I'll save them. I think I can create an entrance here. Stand back, Zelda. Zelda, is that? You can enter the rift here and get rid of it? And you'll be able to get my friends out too? Wow, thank goodness. Please do whatever you need to. Let's go. Whee. Oh, I need to sneeze, I think. Ew. I can sense my friends here. They're trapped. Bless you, thank you. They're trapped in 5 areas to be exact. If we rescue them all, we can fix this. I didn't read that. Where am I? Stilled Desert Temple something? Stilled Desert Temple Ruins. Okay. Oh, there's somebody. See, I love the look of these things. They're so fascinating. Like, what is that? And why is that? Like, tell me. I want to know. Right, I want to jump down there, but I feel like that's an awful idea. Because I don't know how to get back up. Oh, okay. Sure, let's go down here. Ooh! Twinkly Tor has had these blocks. That's not really worked, has it? What? Right, I shouldn't do this, I've decided. Okay. What is it? I learned the Platboom Echo. If you say so. So, they go upwards. I get it. They have uppies. Right, I understand. I comprehend. Ooh. Got friends. Ow. Right, okay, so that was to make me kill one, so that I've now got its echo, which I can place here. Oh, please, thank you. Oh. Okay, that was it. Right, sure. I'm just going to call them thwomps, because that's what they are. This feels like a jump I shouldn't do. Okay, it was fine. Because I'm sick. Oh. Oh, of course, yeah. Oh, I was all under control, you know. Skills, thanks. Whee! I was really confused for just a moment then. I was like, what? But no, I get it now. No, no. Wait, what? I'm scammed. Right, okay. How about you shut up? Hit. Dead. I want to go and stand on the top of the tree. Whee! Cute. Right, gamer instincts say go this way first. I don't know why, that's what the instincts say. Yep. What? Like, huh? I'm sorry? That's not how that works. You silly goof. Okay. Oh no, split paths, I'm so stressed. I mean, okay. Sure. Whee! I thought I could pick this up. Rip. Okay, thank you. Nice. Oh. Another soldier up in the sky. Okay. Oh, no. The paths are too split. Like, it will all make sense, but for now it doesn't make sense. There's a little ledge on the pillar. I learned that strat from Twinkly Tour. That sword fighter jumps higher. So you can get up places. What is occurring? Yeah, alright, hello. Don't even, love. Don't even bother. Yeah, I said the thing, Berry. I hope you're happy. Whee! That is annoying that you can't just jump up in one and I've got a sword fight up there. Whee! This is fine, right? What? Hey, isn't this set? But she was just outside. I wonder why she's in here. Oh, I wonder. No, not that. You badly need a rewatch of that show. Maybe... Ooh, water blocks. I like them. Maybe we can do something about that. Yay, all 5. We found all my friends in this area. We should, okay. Now we can mend this rift. That is if you don't want to spend all our time watching Eddie Stobart trucks and trailers. I've become obsessed. So sneezy. Don't become key. Right, it's not about the vehicles. It's about the quests. I feel like it's a very quest show. Like, the driver's just off doing main quests, and I'm like, yes. A piece of parsley. It was more of a sneeze, but I do appreciate it, yes. My friend shared some of their power with me. Oh, right. That's how you upgrade. Okay. But yes, thank you, Emma. I got 2 mic crystals from Try. Got 10 crystals. Nice. Zelda, let's go back to your world now. Whee! Nice. Oh, yippee. Yippee. They're flabbergasted. Zelda! Where am I? Last I remember, I was pulled into the rift. You're awake! Oh, I'm so relieved that everyone's back safely. Also, Eepee, maybe, yes. She really did it. The rift, it's gone. We saw it with our own eyes. What astonishing powers. Thanks, I'm sick. Vasette, where are you going? We shouldn't leave the palace unguarded. I must hurry back. What happened to me? Vasette? There are 2 of you. Chief Sarah, Captain Donna, what's happened? We're wondering the same. How did you get here? I was looking into the rifts here in the desert. And then... Oh, yes, I was pulled into a rift. See? Chief Sarah. I recommend extreme caution. She came out of the rift after all. She could be some kind of monster. Yes, that's what she is. Okay. You're sus. You don't actually think I trust you, do you? Ah. You're not going anywhere. Good thing she was right about that. Where did she go? She vanished. Straight Cunningham. Oh, yes. So she was a fraud after all. You weren't sure? Also, Sarah, I hardly know her. Sorry. It only just occurred to me to make that joke. Feel like I need to blow my nose, like a proper nose blow, but yeah, I don't know. Basette made many questionable remarks ever since the rifts appeared. She spoke of a legend that promised defeating monsters would eliminate this. Burying the entrance to the Sanctum was also her idea. And she only suggested it once she heard that the rift in the forest had been eradicated. Now I reflect on it, she must have intended to keep Zelda away from the rift. But why? Because she didn't want the rift to be fixed. All of the deceits were to that end. Zelda, although we were deceived by the false facet, I apologise for how we treated you. You have my permission to restore the entrance to the Sanctum, and you have my blessing. I know it's selfish of me to ask, but you must use your power to help me and my people. All right. Thank you so much, Chief. The entrance to the Sanctorum sits at the base of the quicksand flow in the southern desert. The cave that drained the sand was plugged, causing the flow to submerge the entrance. What? I am actually going to go and see to my nose. Give me 1 sec. Ew. I've run over my phone cable. This is the worst day of my life. Shake. Wound. Hello. Yeah. I hope I'm not getting ill because, like, what was that? Oh, I should have. I didn't plan this well. But oh well. Okay. Go speak with the guard at the cave and tell her what has transpired. I better not be what? Oh, getting ill. No. Yes, Chief Sarah. No, I don't want to get ill. We're not doing that again. We did it! Once you're ready, please head to the Sanctum. We're counting on you, Zelda. I mean, is it going to stop me? No. Well, it should, okay? It's disturbing to learn that Facette was a fake. Really, ever since the rift appeared, it's been one problem after another. Berry's just down bad, Emma. That's what we've learned. That was awful. I'm told you're the one who saved me. Truly, thank you. Yes. I was like, I really hope the water blocks fit on the square, and they do. Oh, that makes me so happy. That's everything that they actually fit on. Okay. My power couple. Thanks, Emma. Oh, hello. You're here again.
Hi.
If you ever get lost in the desert, make sure to take your map. The map won't do much good in the middle of a sandstorm. Okay. Not every day. I see it on Highland. Yep. Yep. Oh, I thought you had things to sell me. Okay. Then you wanted the tiles. How am I doing for smoothies? Bad. I'm doing bad for smoothies. I like this little guy, but I wish his smoothie making animation was a little sillier. Like, we all played... No. No. There we go. Like, we all saw Breath of the Wild, and like, really, what it is, I keep expecting him to do the Animal Crossing. You know, the do, that thing. Like, that's what I'm waiting for, and he never does it. Because this isn't Animal Crossing. Okay. A smoothie. Thanks. Thanks, thank you, thanks. Come back soon. I will, smoothie man. Leave me alone. Don't see me, don't see me. How can you not see me? How? Oh, I'm amazed I got away with that. Right, so I need to go up here. No. Why is that? Oh, here! I remember this place. Well, you were like, no one gets in here. I've been informed of the situation. The plug stopping the quicksand is just through here. But the place is swimming with monsters. I haven't been able to get past them. To think that all that needed to be done was pull the plug to drain the sand. So we need to pull the plug so we can get to the rift entrance. Let's go, Zelda. Easy, let's go. Okay. Can I just rock it? Oh, incredible. If in doubt, just throw a rock. I have a wind cannon. This is the other one that I learned from Twinkly Tour. Okay. So I can go through there and down here. Let me do... Will a wooden box get blown away? Yes. Will boulder get blown away? That makes so much sense. Whee! Wait, oh! Am I being silly goof? Not that. Incredible. Goodbye. Yeah, no, that's an easier way to do that. Oh! Can I kill these? Oh, boo! Oh, okay. Here, let me have that. Thank you. I learned the Path Blade Echo. Monster charges ahead, spinning its sharp blade, then returns to the starting point. Its unending motion blocks paths. Oh. Wait, can I? Ooh. Can I send one? No, this didn't work like I'd hoped it would. But there you go. I don't know what that's achieved, but thanks. I know what they are. Oh, unfazed. Ah, that's cute. I learned the Gerudo Echo. A bandage monster that can stop foes in their tracks. It's weak to fire, though, and will flee in a panic. Ooh, if exposed to it. That's interesting. Goodbye. Thank you. I got a small key. It can open a locked door. That doesn't get rid of that. I need you, don't I? Nice. Thank you. Oh, then this is the other... Oh, it's not. He had saved me. Nice. Sure. Why is that? Thank you. Wait, the heart. The heart. Give me the heart, thanks. Nice. I don't like that you can't press B. That one was on me. I don't like that you can't press B to get at Barry. Shut the fuck up, okay? I'm yet to see you play any video games. I don't want to hear it. Okay, interesting. Oh, this is the plug that we need. Right. Wait, no, I'm going to get a rock. Because that should be enough. I've made a mistake. Can I stand on it? I can. What is skill about that, okay? Pipe down. Ah, nearly had that as well. Stop it. Stop it. Yes. The fairy jumped into your bottle. Amazing. That was really stupid. Zelda, get in. Vic, hello. Hi. Hi, friend. Hi, friend. Oh my god, I'm doing so good. I'm doing all the better now. But yeah, no, I'm doing real good. I hope you're doing well. Are you at work? Do you have work today? Easy. Yeah, if you are, I hope work's going well. I know, it's so good to see you. I was literally saying. Ooh, maybe idea. I was literally saying on my stream how much fun your stream was. No, that sucks. Ooh. 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 Can I not echo to my own monsters? Oh, no, I've got it, I've got it, I've got it. I should do it to that. I'm working, maybe. Okay, you're so good, though. Ooh, what's happened to me? No, there was no saving that. Okay. Let me use my little noggin, and then I'll read your message. Sick. No, that's not what I wanted to do. I didn't want to do that. Well, I think I get it. I just can't execute what I think I get. Ooh, yeah, that works. Right. Follow. Mark. I still can't execute it. Okay. That was so close. That was so close. Come on, video game. Right. Get right next to me. Thank you. Was not worth. Anyway. Yes, you're at work. You may be AFK at random times. That's... You're so good, friend. And yes, I hope work goes okay because... Ew, stinky. Stinky. It was so much fun, though. Yes, it was so much fun. I loved that Joel and Mimi were there as well, and we just got to hang. And I feel bad for you that, like, I feel like me and Mimi and Joel were just chatting to each other, and you were, like, playing Zelda. But yes, it was really fun. And, yeah, thank you for streaming, lovely. But no, it was so worth it, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna look away when, like, things happen, and then the boss of the temple happened, and I was like, I just want to watch. I just want to watch. I don't know what happened at the end of the battle. I did look away then. So, like, you beat the monster, and then, like, something happened. I don't know what that was, but oh well. But no, it was so worth it, and I was also, I can show you this. It may give you a black screen. Oh, it didn't. Slay. Also, just batched out VODs to upload because I was like, I don't care. I need to get this done. So I was like, you know, yeah. I was locked into my own stuff as well. So you're so good. But I see what you said. The king started saying some stuff. Oof. King Boss Rams Hyrule. Love that. Oh, question, Vic. Yeah, when you upload videos to Twinkly Tour VODs, which everyone should go and follow, by the way, do you download the VOD and then upload it to YouTube, or do you do the, like, export directly to YouTube thing? Because I've always downloaded them, and I don't know what's wrong with me. But I always download them to my PC and then re-upload them. Do direct export. Okay. I feel like when I tried it, I didn't get it to work for me. For some reason, it, like, didn't do it. I don't know. No. No, buddy, chill. And I don't know why it didn't work, but good to know. I think, you know, because it was the first time I ever did it, you know when you do it and there's, like, the processing time, I feel like it might have been that. Just didn't. You know, it didn't for me. What? Fuck all. Dude, chill. Chill. Okay. Oh, it's this business again. No. I hate this business. I can't. Oh, I can send you through it. Excuse me. That was horrendous. Okay, that worked quite well. What? Oh, I've broken everything. What have I done? Right, you need to just go away. Yeah, I've never... It's just like... You know when you do something because it's now all you know how to do? Like, I've had that now, so it's all I ever do. Because it's just the way I know. Right, give. Oof. How do I have to do it like this? What? Yes, I do it like that. Follow. So, I don't know, I've always just downloaded them. But I think that's a me problem. Ooh, it said fire. It said fire. Fire for Gyrudos. Oh, plot twist, it's a redead. I don't know what to do against redeads, I can't remember. What do I do against redeads? I forgot. Sword Moblin, go! Wait, no, I have the one that Vic used. That's like... Yeah, yeah! Big guy with a shield. This guy, yeah. Oh, he's tanky. He's got so much health. I love you. I learned Gerudo level 2 Echo. Terrifying and driven by vengeance, this bandaged horror transforms into a redead when set on fire. Oh. Okay. He's your go-to right now. Mine has always been the P-Hat. I love this guy. He just wrecks everything. It's so good. But, like, that was very, like... He wrecks everything early game. So maybe, you know... Ooh. Yes, pull out the plug. Nice. And use that one more. It was good in the early game, and I found it very early. But, like... Maybe it's not good now. Ooh, fun. I did it. Oh, I'm still not out. I did it. The fraud lied to us. We restored the entrance and there weren't any monsters. That said, there will be monsters inside the Sanctum itself. Keep your guard up in there. I will keep my guard up in there. Thank you. What have I done? Okay, Gerudo Sanctum. Right, I should retitle the stream, Gerudo Sanctum. The Sanctum just makes me think of Breath of the Wild, to be honest. But fun. I can create an entrance here. Stand back, Zelda. Oh, Vic. I have the Wild Robot on DVD. It's very cute. Because that's what I watched with my parents, yeah. I don't know if I told you that bit. But very cute. It's very cute. Love that, I know, right? It's so very cute. Oh, okay. Never mind. But yeah, me and Barry might watch it together. What was that? Might watch it together on like Saturday, maybe even. I don't know. Soon, anyway. Because we love that film. fun. I know, right? It's so fun. Nice. Ooh, here's a question. I wonder what Zelda's title is. Because you know, like you have like the Hero of Time, the Hero of the Wild. I wonder what Zelda's one is for this game. Interesting. Because like Hero of Echoes is like, I don't know if that sounds cool or not. Hero of Echoes. Ooh, that did work. Sorry, I should do the thing, shouldn't I? Right, I'm gonna get some more to drink as well, because, yeah. It's hard for us to beat it, then we can start watching lore videos and stuff. I feel so bad when, like, Hyrule Gamer and Zeltic and whoever has done, like, theory videos on this game, and I'm like, I want to give you the view, I want to support you, but I can't because I need to play the game first. True, with the echoes, it might be good for speedruns because you can like just physically get Zelda in places she's not supposed to be. Like that would be so interesting. Okay. Vic, I can show you something else. I've invested, Vic. Show and tell, yes. Can you see it on stream right now? No. Haha. I've got a like cute little fruit basket that's on like 2 levels, and I've got like all my snacks and then all my fruit at the top. It's so cute. And I won't say built it myself because it was 10 screws, but like me and Berry built this together. It was very cute. It was very sweet. And now it lives on my counter and it stores all my snacks because they used to just be like laid out everywhere, but now I have a thing for them. Oh, you can actually see the bottom of it, just like a little bit. Bob the Builders. It's so cute. It's so cute. I love it. And we built it together. Ah, cute. That was actually very sweet. Thank you for sharing. Thank you. Of course, of course. And I got it as a Christmas present and was like, yes, I'm saving this to build together. And it was nice. Not of Berry, it was a present of my parents. But I was like, yes, we're building it together. I think that my parents know we built it together. Yeah, they do. My parents know we built it together. Sorry, I should be playing the game. GFs who build together stay together. Absolutely. So cute. And slay together. Truly. Truly. Oh, I don't want to alarm anybody, but I've seen a job advert for like the company I want to work for, but it's not the actual role that I'd want. So I'm a little bit like, do I just do it? Do I just apply for it? But I don't know because it's like not the closest to where I live. Barry, I've not talked to you about this yet. I'm sorry you're finding out this way. I'm just like, because like I could, but I don't desperately want to like do it. It could be a good entry point. Exactly though, it could be a good entry point to the job that I would actually like to do. But I haven't quite figured out how to get there. Apply to it, okay. Okay, thank you, Emma, thank you. Because like that is what I'm thinking about the entry. The entry point would be like a good thing. You know in Minecraft, when you're just like having good yaps, so you just parkour like aimlessly, you just run around stuff. That's what I'm doing right now. This is Minecraft now. Yes, yes. But, because I don't fully know what the job, like, entails. True, even the application is good practice, because, like, I do have the old CV, which needs dusting off and updating with my actual applicable skills that I have. Because it was all just like, when I was in school, I was a prefect, and I did this, and I got these exam results, and I'm very nice, hire me. Like, now I can actually, like, have a CV with stuff on it, you know? But, yeah. Right, friends, all of us need to peer pressure Twinkly Tor into playing Minecraft. We need to do this. No, okay, shush. I was a prefect, yes. Yeah, we all need to get Vic on Minecraft. We need to do this. Because it's great. You were also a prefect. Oh, cute! It'll happen one day, it must. I think you would love it. I think you would. After I become obsessed. Excellent. Excellent. Because, like, it's such a game as well that, like, if it's your avenue, if it's what you want to do, like, you can find YouTube tutorials to follow. Like, oh, if you find the good YouTube tutorials, it's like, yes. And if you've got more than one monitor, which I know you have, oh, it's so good to just, like, have the game and the YouTube tutorial and you just follow everything, and oh, it's so good. If you want to build things. Or who knows, you could become... Because, yeah, we know what you're like, Vic. Like, you could just be a miner. You could go off and just grind diamonds and gold and iron and stuff all the time. Or you could be a little builder. Which, I don't know. But I'm setting you up with shaders and the performance mods and everything. Oh my god, it's Joel! Hi. Hi, friends. Wait, I just did the thing again. I put in my Discord a Twitch clip that I made because it was so funny to me. And, like, shows how much I absolutely love you all. Did I put it in Discord? Oh, I did. Yeah, I did. Okay. Hi, Joel. I hope you're doing well. I love you so much. I hope you're doing good, friend. Hi. Yes, it can be cozy or chaotic. It truly can be. Joel, we're trying to get Vic to play Minecraft. That's what we're doing right now. It's peer pressure time. Just gotta work. Oh, perfect. I should actually start up the music, you know, because we're literally just yapping away. Oh, perfect. Add. Perfect. Yes, Minecraft. Yes, hope work was good. Work was good, but glad to be home. I feel that. I really feel that. The music's so quiet. But oh well. It's fine. I do like crafting mines. Need to do it more. I do as well. They've added. They've added. I gasp like I care about this. They've added new variants of cows. Like just recently, so I'm told. There's like Highland cows now in Minecraft. Like cows, yes, cows. Who said Minecraft? Let's go! Right, everybody gang up on Vic to play Minecraft. You just got into work. Oh no, I'm sorry, only just got in. That sucks. 14 years ago, oof. Friend, we're getting old. We're so old. Yes, play Minecraft with us. Oh, I didn't even spot your typo there, and I didn't see it. Wait, because you two might not know each other. Joel, do you remember I've got a friend Potato who I like met at work, who's not Berry but somebody else. Yeah, Emma is Potato's flatmate. So like we know each other in real life, and it's cute. We love this. I want to get back into Minecraft for the mods. For the mods, we got to do this. So. Yeah, that would be very cool. I went to a YouTube rabbit hole of a Minecraft who built the entirety. I saw that. Oh, that was going to be a stream idea. I was going to download that map, because you can do that, like download the map and then play it on my PC. I was going to explore it one day and I just forgot. I forgot. Yeah. If you don't know these people, like the people that you don't know are like my online besties, and I love them all. This is cute. I love when the friends meet each other. But yes, I would love to play Minecraft with you all, and it is like a crossover. It's a crossover episode, and I love it. Yeah, that's what I was going to do. I need to show Joel this Twitch clip. Because I feel like I need to stress like my reaction to when Joel comes into the stream. Me when Joel comes into the stream. I feel like I have so much to catch you up on. Oh my god, Joel! Oh my god, Joel, hi! Like, that just happens now every time you come in the stream, and I'm like, ah! Hi, Joel. Hi. Yes, I remember you had your Minecraft phase. The clip's cool, that clip, because I think in the same clip, Vic comes in at the end of the clip within, like, 1 minute of each other, like, Vic shows up, and I'm like, oh my god. But it's very cute. It's very sweet. Yes, Emma is so nice, everybody. I think Emma and Vic would be, like, good friends in real life. I feel like they would, like, very well. I've never thought that before. But yeah, I think you two would, like, really go, oh, that's cute. That's cute. We have to do a Snow Bear Con as well as a Twinkly Con and have, like... Was it called Twinkly Con? Yeah, Twinkly Con. As well as that, and have, like, all my friends meet as well. Like, that's very cute. Snowcon, absolutely. It sounds like a snow cone, but Snowcon. Yes, I would love that. Because, like, I'm only friends with very cool people. Yeah. Oh yeah, also, Vic. Something I've realised very recently, because your stream taught it to me. You know how you can just rest in the bed? I didn't realise that you could just, like, stay in the bed and do that. Wait, can you not? Oh yeah, you can. Because it happens so slowly. I used to just, like, go into bed, wait for half heart, get out the bed, get back into bed, because I thought that's what you had to do. I didn't realise you can just lay in the bed and get more health until you did it on stream, and I was like, oh, I'm stupid. But, yeah. It's cool, though, seeing somebody else play a game that you're also playing for the first time. Like, I realise these things. This is me right now. I am Zelda. She is me. Wait, where's she? Does she just pull the staff out of hammer space? Yes, she does. Okay, interesting. My method's the speedrun. I didn't even know your method exists. I was just like, this seems a bit weird that you have to get in and out every time. But I suppose it makes sense. It's like the hot springs in Breath of the Wild. And also, Joel, like, we're about in there. That's a dungeon, which we're about to do. So, like, no pressure to watch. But also, I've been stood here for like 15 minutes, just yapping away. So, it also might not happen anytime soon. I don't know. I don't know. Don't mind. Okay, cool. Okay, cool. Cool, cool. Oh, the Breath of the Wild music. Very cute. Up. No, I haven't started it yet. Okay, the perfect time? Yeah. Because I think you're further on, aren't you? Yeah, at similar points. Working on the backlog these days. Love that. Oh, my backlog just got longer, everybody. So I bought the game. I did actually stream it. called Station to Station, the game was called. And it's a very cute game. It looks lovely. And the people that made it have just announced a new game. And it's like a sim game, like a town builder. I'm excited. Thank you. I love that. Might get this game in a couple of months. I love that. Okay, I'm forcing you to look at my gaming interests, okay? Thank you. Like, is this not the prettiest game I have ever seen? Like, Town to City it's called. Like, oh my god. Now, like, you can just place things and buildings and trees and the lighting is so cute. Oh, yes. Isn't it so cute? Like, this game's just been announced, but it's on my wish list. Like, yes. Yes. Need. Big need. Because look, oh, look at that. Oh, like, are you kidding? Look at this game. Oh my god. Like, the water in it looks so good. Oh, it looks amazing. Oh, I'm at a loss for words. I need the game. Like, big need, Town to City. Yes, please. Yes, please. Thank you. Yeah, like Octopi. It's the same like art style. It's so cute. I love the trees. I love everything. Because I do have Station to Station. I really didn't play it very much. I didn't play it nearly as much as I thought I would. But it is so pretty. So I kind of want to see what the game's like, and then I might buy it. But yeah, Station to Station, they added like a level builder anyway, so it's kind of like you can just build your own stuff already. And I guess maybe off that idea it spawned in having this, but it's very cute. It comes out this year. Oh, does it? I don't know where it says that, but cool. I love that. I just see coming soon, but love that. It does look very pretty. And No Man's Sky's just updated, and I haven't had a chance to play it yet because I wanted to play this instead. But they've added like more stuff. They've added like big planets. They've added like Jupiter planets. Like, I'm out here playing on planets like Earth, and then they've got Jupiter, and it's like, oh, that's big. So I love that. And other stuff as well, like, but yeah, very cool. I want to play Twilight Princess again. This music makes me want to replay it. Barry, can you play Twilight Princess? Thanks. Right, I should actually play the game because I'm actually just yapping away. And I want to get the dungeon done within the next hour and a half. Of course. Yeah, I will. Okay, good. At my house, of course. Like, in the presence of me, you have to play this game. You do. I know. I just want to chat to the friends, but, like, I also do want to make progress in the game. And stop just Minecraft parkour yapping. But, you know. You don't want to be anywhere else. Oh, cute! No, I know, right? We're so cute. Oh, ceiling. What am I doing? That. And that. So that I can go, what? I think that's how that was. Yeah, it's very cute. Okay, I'm doing it. I'm playing the game. The music's ending. Stop. Thank you. Thanks. Delete from scene. Yep. Okay. Right, we're going. We're gaming. Let's do this. Oh, they are. Beds are just everything. because they're like tables, but big. Link! A person in a green tunic. Zelda, wasn't that Link? Legasp, literally Legasp. I'll probably forget the actual solutions by the time I play the game. Oh, that's fine. I watched Vic play this, I don't know, 2 days ago. I forgot. I don't know. Well, I just work here. I don't remember anything. Ooh. Oh yeah, so these I can climb, can't I? Wait, no. But I know what's happening. Yes, yes. Oh, I see. I see. Drop. I forgot things that happen in games all the time. Truly. Ooh, okay, we have split paths and 2 floors. Okay. GeForce, I know I've got drivers ready to install. Shut up. I forgot things that happen in my actual life. Truly a mood. To be fair, slightly not a mood. I feel like I'm good at remembering. Oh, don't do this. No. I swear this happens in Link's Awakening as well. Easy. Evil tile, yes, yes. Evil. Yay! Got 20 rupees. Excellent. It reminds me in, I think it's the Simpsons movie. Doesn't, like, Homer... If you've not seen the Simpsons movie, I'm sorry for what words are about to come out of my mouth, but when Homer dumps the pig shit in the lake, doesn't the lake, like, turn a funny colour and, like, a skull and crossbones appear and just go, evil? Like, love that. Love that. Ooh, okay. Notes. Wait, can I just... Oh, I can. Okay. Right, I'm going to send in a P-hat to do all the work for me. Yes, go. Easy. Love a P-hat. Right, okay, so... What my Twinkly Thor training has taught me is that... Oh, you can make him really big. Is that Sword Fighter Zelda jumps higher than regular Zelda, which I didn't realise. Oh. What? Oh. Nice. P-hat. I love the way Joel separates words. I love it so much. Why is this the end? This shouldn't be the end. Oh no, there's a room in the middle, isn't there? Yeah, there's a room in the middle. I was like, I've explored everywhere. I'm so confused. I do think P-hat every time you see it. I love that for you. I've no idea why they're called P-hats. Like, what was the Zelda naming team? Ooh. Well, like, what were they on? I learned the snake statue echo. A foreboding statue with a raised head and coiled tail. Its cold eyes stare into the distance. This is a Twinkly Tour question. Oh, nice one. That's very Ocarina of Time Spirit Temple, which I know is Vic's favourite. Is that in the Spirit Temple? Let me have a cheeky Google. I mean, I know snake statues aren't that, like... Yeah, it is, like the entryway statues, but, like, without text in them. I mean, they're just statues of snakes with things on their foreheads. Like, it's not that deep, but... Oh, I need to replay Twilight Princess. I need to replay Ocarina of Time. And I've played that one quite recently. Actually, it's been like 6 months since I started Ocarina of Time. Like, that's bad. I do like Ocarina. Same, I really enjoyed it. It was so fun. Right. I saw these in Vic's stream as well. They're Pokemon. Like, you can't convince me they are not Pokemon. Because, like, what do you mean? It's so Pokemon core. That's not what I meant to do. It looks so much like a Pokemon. I want to call it Butterfree. I mean, I don't recognize, like, what a Butterfree is. But it's a Pokemon. Okay, nice. It's a free seed, nice. Also, hi Bailey, hello. I hope you're doing well. Oh my god, is that a hot dog emote? I know you love a hot dog. I learned the Mothula Echo. Oh, Bailey, I saw you doing a subathon. I'm very excited for you. I hope that goes so super well. I'm sure it will. Ooh, I'm gonna lower the sand again. Cute. Apple, nice. Oh, there's a room there. There's a new pocket set, right? Ooh, I believe there is, because apparently Mimi's done quite well with it so far, from what I've seen. I'm excited but scared. Well, if you get like 5 subs, then you're embarrassed. I think, well, as the only other person I know that's done a subathon, oops, I think Vic had the exact same, like, fears, and it went really well. Because it gave us a Twitch clip that I've never, ever, ever let her forget. So, I'm sure it'll be good. And you got this. And I'm broke as fuck, so, like, this isn't saying that I can, but I'm sure so many people will. Whoa, you're speedy. Okay, I'm trusting you. If it's bad, I'm blaming you. Yeah, it's okay. Whoa, you still... That's wild. Bye. Right, there was a way to get down, wasn't there? Oh, there's a little guy. Where's the mole? Mole. Mole. Thank you. Yes, I'm sure it'll be great. Mole. Okay, these guys stress me out. They're too fast. Ow. Ow. Damage boost. It's fine. Literally Sonic. Wait, no. I need to make them not alive so that I can steal them. But how do I even... Like, how does one... Right. Chill. Well, look, okay. Okay, right. I got stuck on the armadillo. I was stuck between a rock and a hard place. Okay. And, yeah. Ow. Right, I don't know where the hell I am now. Okay, up. Go uppies. Dead, indeed. That might... Not confirmed, but that might be my first death in this game. I can't remember. I don't remember dying before. Whee! Whee! Okay. Right, I don't know what to do about this. I don't know what to do about you. Okay, so stay there. And get rocked. Oh, amazing. I learned the Caramadillo. Okay, sure. Caramadillo. Ow. 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 Wait, they do so much damage! What? I feel like that's just a bad idea. I don't know what to do. I don't know how to not die. He's really zooming. Okay, well, a win is a win, okay? I'm through. Seek 2 distinct tributes. Clues to the desired tributes are recorded somewhere on this floor. Yeah, okay, fine. I'll do it. Minecraft does have armadillos. I don't know if I've ever seen an armadillo in my own playthrough. I don't know if I've seen one. Right, 2 distinct tributes. Clues to the desired tributes are recorded somewhere on this floor. Oh, I know what you are. I don't know what to do about you, but I know what you are. I'm sure this is what Aonuma intended. Edgar Allan looking ass. I understand that reference. That's a quality meme from Sword of Blue. Right, gimme. Give. Nice. But also, you sort of died in the wall. Okay, it's there. It was nice to me. First time I saw one, I was like, what the heck's that? There was some block and it was moving. Oh, the armadillo. Yeah, I thought you meant a Poe. I was like, what? Oh, okay. A mischievous spirit that uses its lantern to set things on fire. When chased, it can slip through walls to escape. Dungeon map. Joel, this is like early 2020s, no, early 2010s YouTube brain rot. Did you ever watch the Armadillo song on YouTube? Well done, Barry, well done. Edgar Allan, I get it, you see. To be fair, you don't play enough Zelda games to, like, know instantly that's a Poe, do you? But yeah, there you go, Edgar Allan. Oh, hey, look. Link! I remember the Armadillo song. Yes! Somebody knows what I'm talking about. Link! That's got to be Link. But where is he going? Gotta find the song later. Oh, it's so good. Right, so I've left the dungeon, which is concerning me. Oh, narwhals swimming in the ocean. Causing a commotion because they are so awesome. Yes, I know the song. It's so good. It's made by the same guy. There's an armadillo one as well. Nice one. Right, I'm fed up with these guys. I hated them in Twilight Princess, and I hate them now. Like, there's just no need as the Zelda team. There's no need. Oh, not 2009. Oh, no. I was 8 or 9. No, I was 7 or 8. Ruh-roh. I don't think I'd quite discovered YouTube at that point, but, like, you know, oof. Yeah, Barry was, like, barely born in 2009. Barry had barely gained consciousness back then. Ba, 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 ba. The babies, I know. We're a year apart, and don't you forget it. Thank you. That was crazy from me, I love that. I hadn't ate that yet, oof. I think I did as well, yeah. Sorry. Got 50 rupees, that makes you really happy. I love when a game tells me how I feel. Snow's the type that would remind you she was born a minute earlier. If I had siblings, I'd be like, and I'm the eldest. If Joel was 14, I'd be 12 or 13. Yes, I believe so. That is the case. I feel old. You are a mature queen, is what you are, okay? I don't know where I'm going, I'm just sort of walking around. Thank you, you're so welcome. Maturity's not a thing in this chat, but you know. I know we're 94 and 96, yeah. Wow, the Pokemon's so sparkly. That's the wrong thing. Wait, I can probably put one of those on top of the reader because it moves so slowly. Oh, I can't actually put it on the reader because it needs to be not on the ground. No! Okay, fine, let's go. Ow. Where are you? Where are you? Okay. Ow. Look at me feel old. It's when kids these days grow up and say, I remember Breath of the Wild when I was a kid. I know, right? Like, what? Like, Breath of the Wild's... Well, Breath of the Wild was, to be fair, the first Zelda game I got, like, properly into. Oh, didn't stand a chance. Like, I will admit that. Wait, can I send a Poe after it? What's that do? Do the Poes actually do anything? Or just make fire? They don't do anything. Okay. Sure. Wait. Oh. No, I'm silly. Okay. I've already done that, haven't I? Yeah. I was 16 when that game came out. Sorry. Wait, I should use them because they're just gonna like easier to control on me. Yeah, amazing. Nice one. Oh! That was... I shouldn't use that. Okay. I'll be fine, but oof. You're so good, friend. You're so good. It did, and I kind of hate that. Like, that Mario Odyssey came out that long ago as well. Like, that's just... disgusting. And I got it the year it came out, which is disgusting. Maybe my perception of time's wacky, I know. I actually remember Christmas, because I got it for Christmas that year. Christmas 2017, and I remember it because somebody messaged me on Snapchat that I really didn't want to message me. Like, I don't want you to wish me happy Christmas. Go away. And like, I was trying to play Odyssey as well, and I was like, no. Just don't, mate. I don't want this. See, I feel like I should go over there. Oh, Team Me was just miserable. I was just like, go away. Don't talk to me. No, he was a bit annoying. He wasn't, like, very nice. Or actually, it might have been the year later when I was trying to play Smash Bros. I can't remember. It was one or the other. Ooh, ooh, yeah. Thing, thwomp. Whee! Cute. I took the day off to play Odyssey. Did you, like, complete it? Because it did worry me. When I first played Odyssey, it worried me how fast I was getting through it. That is one thing I do remember about that game. Like, it was really good, but I do remember being worried. I love Redeads. But dented it, but didn't finish it. Yeah. I think I was the same. I probably got to like Wooded Kingdom or something and was like, oh, I'm playing this way too much. Me, like all the time. Nice. Right, I'm not using the wind blowy thing. Because it turns out that was a terrible idea. Oh, I can answer this. Vic owns Odyssey, but has never, ever played it. And when I say I can answer it, I want Vic to play it. It is good. It really is. The backlog wheel just hasn't blessed us. That's not really what I wanted to grab, to be honest. Vic is so Miko, owns game, doesn't play game. Literally, though. Like, Vic has solved this by creating literally a wheelberry. Like a... You know, like teachers had the wheels. That you could, like, randomize it. Yeah, she's made one of those for... I learned the hawk statue echo. A pointed statue with folded wings and a hooked beak. Its sharp eyes stare into the distance. Miko need. Oh, okay. You need that for TV shows, actually. That's what you need. Right, so is there anything that I haven't done? I went out of there, didn't I? Along there, up there. Up there, up there, across here, and then onto this. Okay. I don't know why your brain's the way it is. Nor do I. Nor do I, lovely. Okay, I'll go in now. I'm the same. I have 40 games in my Switch library that I haven't played, but they were on sale. I don't have that many, but I do have quite a few. I know exactly what I need here, and it's going to give me so much serotonin. You don't even know. No, that's cruel. Putting it in quicksand. Okay, can I just game across? Oh, I can. Easy. I have a big handwritten list and decide what's fluid on vibes. I love that. I feel like that's quite a common way to do it, to be fair. Whee, let's go. No! Not me missing the jump. Right, what game do I need to play next? I need to play the Batman Arkham games. Because I did the thing. I don't know if anyone else does this, or if it's just my brand of mental illness. You know what? We're solving this the correct way. Bed. Bed. But I played Arkham Asylum maybe last year and was like, I really enjoyed that game. I should play Arkham City. Okay, done. I should play Arkham City. So I was going to play Arkham City, so I was like, I'll replay Arkham Asylum because it's been a year and I'll, you know, just refresh myself and then I'll play Arkham City. And I didn't even finish Arkham Asylum this time. And so didn't play Arkham City. I'm like, why? Why have I done this? Like, to myself. Because that's why I know Professor Layton and the Curious Village so much better than the other ones. Right, I need fire for this. Wait, I could Poe. Oh, I can use Poe. Which I shouldn't use because they're very ineffective. Oh, it doesn't actually attack it with fire. Right, Poes are useless. No fire guy. The Poe is actually terrible. It actually is. Ah. Dude. Okay, good. Sorry, I had to separate if it's so true. I know, right? Look, the first Arkham game. Played that one back in high school. It's good. I only got it way, way, way more recently. But I do enjoy it very, very much. Oh, how far away do you have to be before the reader doesn't do that to you? I would like you to stop that. Thanks. Wimmed dude, let's go. Oh yeah, Odyssey, yeah, definitely one day. It needs to happen one day. Because I've been following you ever since Mario Galaxy and I've not seen you play another Mario game. Actually, Paper Mario, to be fair. But, like, it needs to happen. Okay. I learned the cat statue echo. I'm excited for it, honestly. Excited for your whole back. Oh, yeah, for sure. No 3D Mario since Galaxy, and I loved it so much. I'm excited for Badonk City. Truly, I'm excited for Badonk City. Whatever it's called. It's Badonk City now. This is it. It's canon. Badonk City. Here, nice. Here, nice. Here, nice. Doggo decides to come vibe. Amazing. I do have a Discord channel called Pet Tax. You're now obligated to pay it. Just so you're aware. No, only if you want to. Link! Oh. Wait, no, I'm friend. And you're not evil. Oh, he is evil. Oh. Right, this is a problem then, because I don't know what to do. Last time I had a strat that was given to me by a YouTube tutorial, and I don't know what to do now. Wait, idea. I have idea. Redead to stun the hero of echoes. Or hero of rifts. Ooh, that's kind of cool. Stop running away from me. Yes, excellent. Okay, that works. Is that it? That was not it. Right, okay. Now we're gonna get 3 links, yep. Because 2 hits seemed way too easy, brother. Oh, that did stun. Nice. That did nothing. Whoa! You have so many arrows! Okay. Well, this is cool. I'm enjoying this. Oh, sensational. 2 at once. Okay, I did think I kind of knew about this bit. But I didn't think about how I'd get the bow. But very cool. This is like what happened with Facette and your people at the castle. Link was taken by the Still World and replaced with an imposter too. Maybe we can help the real Link by fixing the rift. Nice though. And I love her little spins. True, like the little wee, wee, wee. Oh, they respawn. I was not aware of that. Get bonked, idiot. Oh, I'm at full health. Okay, don't care then. Oh. Me when... Oh! There is a very cute dog photo in my Discord right now, just so you're aware of that. Very cute. I got the Bow of Might. Now you can fire arrows by pressing X when in sword fighter form. Oh, cool. Okay, so it's the same form. Got it. What's that? Oh, I don't like it. I don't know what it is, but I don't like it. What the fuck are you? I think I've smashed that, you know. Oh. That didn't work. Ew, nasty, 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 nasty. I learned the Beetle Echo. This small monster isn't very strong, but can overwhelm the unwary in great numbers. Interesting. Barry, this is the face I'm pulling right now. Just like... Sorry, I'm messaging my girlfriend live on stream. Anywho. Did I... I don't know what you mean. I don't know what you're referring to. Okay, there's nothing down there, so I need to sword fight and then press X, don't I? Got it. Then... Floating tile. Floating tile. Or flying tile, sorry. Whee! So, wait. Do I have unlimited arrows? That's huge. That has hugeness potential. Because I have unlimited arrows, limited then only by... Right, I hate it. So... Oh, thanks. Thanks for that. I have unlimited arrows, limited only by... You suck. Stop it. Oh, I hate this. I got the Beetle Mound Echo. Strange pillar soul that produces beetles endlessly or until it's destroyed. That's disgusting. Thanks, but no thanks. Get me away. My people need me. Okay. Yes, unlimited arrows. Then limited only by the length of my thing that isn't quite a magic meter. Just gotta shout, I'm nice and clean, yay, I'm so proud. And one, that's the best one. Okay. So, I'm gonna need something big. Like a boulder. And then just stand here. That'll be fine. Yes. Excellent. Elephant. Got the elephant statue echo. Cute. And a key. Love that. Then where am I going? Do I want to go back down now? What's happening? I'm so confused. So if I go back down there, back to there, then there's a locked door there. Okay. See, I can follow maps. Look at me go. And that's why this is here. Thanks. One more room. I don't think I registered that at all when I last played this. Last played this when I was here earlier. I wonder how long those grapes have been there, Zelda. I probably wouldn't, to be honest. Okay. Is this about to be really silly? No, it isn't. Okay. Right, well, because it's Echoes of Wisdom. No, let me turn it back around. Oh, okay. I have a solution involving beds. Because it's Echoes of Wisdom. You understand, of course. Smashed it. To the abyss. Literally just be gone. No, you silly goof. This way. No, why have you done that? Well, I don't really need that, do I? Nice. Awesome. Ooh. I got some reading. It rests its wings atop a tower. It bears sharp eyes and a strong beak. Okay, so I've got that tower. That statue. That must be the... Ready, 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 ready. That one! Hawk statue. But then, where do I put it? I'm guessing in the middle room. Oh, not that one. Where was that? Right, I think what I need to do here is leave. Like, go all the way back outside. According to my calculations, that's what I should do. Because there may perhaps be another door there that I don't think I've been in before. Oh. Where's that? Grey door. Is that that one or is that... Oh, that's that. Is that that? Oh, I'm so baffed. Right, it's not this one. Okay. Let's go into the square hole. Ooh. I can use block, can't I? Let's use bed. And block. Thank you. Okay, it's nice. I'm not mad. But that rather ruins my plans. Okay, so if I go back in there... It is fun. I'm using my noodle. Here, that's what I was thinking of. Okay. So... You then, that statue, should go there. Okay. You know, I'm just gonna imagine if it is. Put the elephant on there. Well, I'm still going to do the rest of the dungeon because I want to know what it is. But, like, lol. Oh, there's nothing there. Oh, did I just miss a piece of text? Oh, I'm so confused then. There's nothing in there. Well, okay. Well, that worked, but I'm confused. Ew. Oh, there you go. There's the other bit of text. Attack! I felt a bit cruel. The moles are quite cute. Oh! 10 portions of rock salt. Love that. It stands quietly in the sanctum. It is blue in colour with large tusks and a long nose. Okay, well, that is the elephant. And I'm just sick at guessing, apparently. Ooh, now I can unplug. Yes. Unplug. Then that's going to dip down. So I still need the boss key. Which is going to get shown to me right now. Yes, okay. Ooh, I feel like I might have seen that before. I know what's up here. Oh, that's so much easier. Nice. Whee! Ba 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 ba. I got the big key, now I can open the big door. Awesome. Right, and then it's boss time, I assume. So, if anybody, sort of blue, hasn't played this game yet and wants to step away for a few minutes, that is so okay, but we're going to go and do the boss. I don't mind, okay. I have no idea what this is. Is it Moldarok from Skyward Sword? Mogriff. Okay. I am the Sand Guardian, Guardian of the Sand. Beside him quivers before him. Fuck off. Thank you, Joel, thank you. I don't have a strat here, I'll be honest. Can I pick up the statues? Strat discovered! Smack that ass. Okay. I haven't heard that in years. Oh, it's so good. I love me a good Vine reference. Right, so he does his big roar, and that means get the spook behind the statue. Oh, no, it doesn't. Oh. Okay. I haven't heard that in years. I'm so obsessed. Where are you? Thank you. Oh, that's okay. I'm not stressed about that. Oh no, I'm stressed about that. Because the statues are sinking. I was going to be like, it's fine though, because I've got that item that means I don't sink. But it's not fine. He flies. He is, the thing. He is, what is he? He is Queen Gipto. Oh, I don't like this. Right, I see. I understand, I think. Why has he got sunglasses on? Can you do? Ew, I know, right? Ow. He is pretty cool, to be fair. Right, so he's gonna come down, and then I have to summon a statue and stand the fuck behind it. Yes. Oh. You fast as fuck, boy. Give me that heart. Smack that bottom. It's the only way. Berry, don't say fucking anything. I'm sorry. You better. Whee! I don't know. I think we both have a bit, but it depends in what regard, Joel. Also, yeah, he smashed it. Ooh, friends. Look at them, they're so cute. You know... This is random. You know in Paper Mario, the 1,000-Year Door, when they put so many things on screen at once and it knackered Vic's capture card, it feels a bit like that. It's got like that energy to it. Having lots and lots of them just for the sake of having lots of them. Ooh. Yeah, thank you. Ooh, pretty. You've had that thought, okay. Good, good. I forget what they were in Paper Mario. Like what it was. Like lots of somethings. If you'd have played with the old one. The X-Nauts, that was it. Yeah, the X-Nauts. My friend shared some of their power with me. I still love that mode. What does that mean? I feel like I can do even more now. What can you do? Oh! So are they cheaper? Now some echoes will use fewer triangles. Nice. They wanted to show hey, the GameCube is so powerful. Lucky all the lads we can put on the screen, truly. Got 5 mic crystals from Try. Why is Try giving me mic crystals? Give me more. What do you mean? What do you mean? My friends told me something while we were mending the rift. They said the monster captured them. It was the first time something like that happened to them. But since you defeated the monster, they can get back to work. There's not really anything else to do in the still world for now. Let's go back to your world, Zelda. Yee! I got a heart container. Your maximum number of hearts has increased, and they've been filled. Thanks. Thanks. Ooh, 2 more games from my Steam wishes have gone on sale. Literally while I've been streaming. What's gone on sale? A Short Hike. 2 from Campus Party Animals. Good Company. Endly. Quite a few games have just gone on sale. I wonder if something's happening. Cute. Okay. Yeah. Yes, I know, Fi. I know. Fi. Try. Oops. Wrong game. Wrong game. Would I like to return to my world? Yes, please. Okay, let's go. Fi, I know. Oops. I do love Skyward Sword. I should replay it sometime. That's what I was going to say. I know my batteries are low. Was that a thing Fi actually did? That was not an intended reference. That was just me saying Fi instead of Try. Did Fi used to like never shut up if you had low batteries? That seems like a very Fi thing to do. Yeah, I would like to play Paper Mario Origami King again. I would like to do that. Like on stream.
At Amazon.
Yeah, at Amazon. Shut up. I'm listening for the noise.
You say
Does she just do that until you put new batteries in? That's horrendous. Okay, only once till you click the notification. Okay, that's not so bad. I was worried she did the like do-do, do-do, do-do all the time. That would be so bad. See, what the fuck does that mean to the hero of the skies? Like, Link, your batteries in the Wii remote are running low. Like, what? What? I loved Origami King. I really, really enjoyed it. Literally, like, bro would be like... Hang on. Bro would literally be like... What's a Wii remote? Ah! He would have no idea. Poor guy. Literally, like, what's it? He'd do the Groose one, actually. He wouldn't do that. He'd do the Groose one. You know, when he lands on the ground and Groose is like, what? Where am I? Right, I need to replay Skyward Sword. I need to play Origami King. I need to do so much. I love Origami King. I want to replay that so much. Vic, can you play it for me? Can I just outsource my playing games to everybody? Barry, play Twilight Princess. Vic, play Origami King. I think you do own Origami King somehow, Vic, but I forget how. Also, unironically, I would like to replay Lake. And I always, like, remember that you own that game, and I'm like, hee, let's make Vic play that game, because I want to. You gotta go. You're so good, friend. You're so good. I hope you have a lovely evening, whatever it is that you're doing. And yes, it's been really nice to chat. I always like when you come into streams. But yes, have a good night, whatever you end up doing. And I love you a lot, and I will see you very soon. Bye, friend. Bye. Bye-bye. You do just double checked. Okay, good. It's a very fun game. It's a very... Like, I get that the battling's different. Having now seen Thousand Year Door, I get that the battling's different. But I like the story of it. And I know that the bosses suck. Like, the boss design, like, I get it, but, like, no. Just, like, no. I'm aware of, like, all that, but it's just fun. It's just fun. Let me have fun with my fun games, okay? Yeah, Mario is just fun. And if it isn't, they're doing it wrong. You're back, says Donna. All the rifts are gone now, including the big one that was here. You did it, Zelda. Everyone in town is awaiting your return. Come on, let's go together. Cute. Also, Origami King has, like, the prettiest, like, area in any game, like, ever. Like, oh, I need to live in, like, the autumny area in Origami King. Like, you don't understand. Oh, is it literally called Autumn Mountain? Oh, it is. Okay. Videos. Not videos, images. Like, just, yes, please. I want to live here. Like, can I live... Come on, IGN. Can I live, like, right there, please? Thank you. Thank you very much. I want to live there. Yeah, for sure. So many games on your backlog. I'm just like... So many games on your backlog I'm excited for. I'm just like, yes. Yes, I want to play all these games. Thank you very much. I remember Origami King, though, because I played it, and then channel friend Lely Plays played through all of it. And I had such a good time on Lel's playthrough as well. Like, I love that game. Yeah, very cute. I do have, on my very real Wii U, I do have Paper Mario Color Splash, which I hear is bad, but not as bad as the 3DS one that came before it. So I could do that one day as well. We'll see. Right, yes, time to celebrate the rifts going away. Come on, it's on me. You're going to come crying to me to help you pay the bill again, aren't you? Just at that moment, a faint shadow of a warrior arose out of the darkness. Eek! Looks like everyone conveniently forgotten that it's time for training. Oh, come now. It's a time for celebration. The rifts are gone. Training can happen tomorrow. I love her hair. I don't think you were here when I said Vic. I love her hair. The one that's laughing now like, oh my god, yes. Everyone is in good spirits. They really are. It's so cool, right? She's like, she's not a boaster, but pretty cool. Zelda, allow me to express my deepest gratitude. Thank you for helping us. Yes, yes, thank you so much. Because of you, we took decisive action, and our desert is saved. I must thank you as well, Donna, my daughter. Your determination and your love for our people have saved this town. Aw, Mother. You've grown so much. In fact, I think you're already capable of being chief. What? Not yet, right? I mean, there's still so much I have to learn. Thank you, Mother. It feels good to hear you say that. Zelda, you intend to continue travelling and fixing the rifts, yes? I will pray for your success. Who do Gerudos pray to? Do they pray to Hylia? I don't think they did. So, Zelda, we've got rid of the rift in both the Gerudo Desert and Jabal Waters. But we haven't found your father or Link. What should we do next? I wonder. Maybe we should go tell Lubri and the others about what's happened so far. That is, to be fair, a good idea. Whee. Oh. Searching for everyone complete when I've not found Link or... Okay, fair enough. Ignore me. Oh. Oh. Love that. Okay. Right, I know I could teleport, but I don't want to. When do I get a horse? I want a horse. So the tornado ghost was actually a monster. Oh. I've already spoken to you. See the woman sitting over there? Yes, I do. Yep. 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 Okay. Oh yeah, I can just run anywhere now. Cool. No, leave me alone. Leave me alone. Don't even try it. Don't bother. Stamp guy. I've already done this. I think I have. Hey, you have the stamp already. Okay. Where am I going? Not that way. I'm going down here. What was I going to say? What was I going to say then? I don't know. I don't know what I was going to say, but never mind. Okay, so now that I'm back here, I'd want to know what these are. Like, lore-wise. I want to know what they are. I'm so confused. I want to know. I want to know. Oh, he's up in the sky. He's like Tingle. He's like on balloons and stuff. He's not on balloons. Ooh. Have I strolled into a boss fight? I have. Perfect. Ow. Oh wait, what do I do? Do I do that? I do that, no. He's on balloons. Does he go to your pub? People in the car at your workplace, literally. Ow. You suck. I do like this boss. I was typing before you said it. Honestly, though, like, it's so real, though, at this point. Yee. Fun. I do enjoy those fights. Okay, so, out of the desert. Oh, not those crows. Get out of my life. Don't even bother. Hee hee. Wow, it's really not far, is it? It's only here. That's cute that she does a little, like, flourish after the spin. Anyway. Right. I think we're going to get some dialogue. So, strap in. Welcome back, Princess. I imagine you've got a lot to catch me up on. Go on, then. So, despite mopping up those rifts, there's still no sign of the king or Link. Alas, my king, where could you be? Oh yeah, also, we're idiots, as I realised in Vic's stream. So we have General Right and Minister Left. Do you get it? Do you get the joke? Because I did not get the joke until this stream. Well, until Vic's stream. I did not understand the joke that is left and right. Well, because I didn't understand. And then Vic said, like, oh my god, I get it now. And I was sat there like... And then a couple minutes later, I was all caps like, oh my god, I'm an idiot. Sensational. This is what Barry said. You didn't pick up on that? I got that like the whole time. But, you know. What sweet should I have? I don't know. I'm gonna have a green crocodile. Nice. Your persistence has paid off, Princess. Thank you for taking care of those rifts. That leaves but one large rift located in Hyrule Castle. Alright, well, that's the one that took these two as well as His Majesty. Our magnanimous king is in a rift even now. And while we stand here yammering away, those frauds are waltzing around in the castle. General Right, calm yourself. Take a chill pill. Princess, Mr. Lubri, Minister Left. As Hyrule's General, I cannot stand idly by. What is it you intend to do then? Take action, obviously. For the yard. I'm going to expose the true identities of those imposters tainting our beloved castle. For the yard! Somebody do the emote. I'll do the emote. Thank you, Barry. I'm going to do it as well. Nope, that's Snowbell Luck. For the yard! Wait, General Right, for the love of... Eesh, we weren't even done talking. That guy can't sit still for long, can he? What's under my foot? Okay, well, cool. Well, back to it. You mentioned you've yet to find Link. I hope he's alright. So, I'm guessing you'll head to the castle too, then? Those fakes are after your head, Princess, so please proceed with the utmost caution. Oh, that's it? Oh, okay. I thought we'd be yapping for a while there. Right, so I should upgrade. My sword. Or my energy. Sword, I'm doing it. Oh, okay. My energy then. I'll take 10 might crystals from you. Yes, please. Leave it to me. Ooh. Da 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 da. The energy gauge is now level 3. Is it massive now? Yes. It's huge. Okay. What's downstairs again? I forgot. Okay. Right. Oh, it's raining. It's like raining outside. Love that. So, I don't want to go to the castle today because that's a whole stream in itself. Ooh, oh cool. Can I just get on here? Oh, I can. Seems like I shouldn't be able to do this. But like, okay. Yeah, so that's another stream. So... That's not what I meant to do. Nice. So, I should end that there, and then I don't know what to do for the rest of the stream, because I want to do it a little bit more. I haven't done any BuzzFeed quizzes for a little while. Could have a look at them, have a cheeky little browse. Yeah, I might do that. Okay. Save. Yes. Save it again. I'm not doing Balatro because it'll take me an hour. So. Why not? Let's do it. And I'm going to get my other monitor going as well. Please. There we go. Yippee! Ba ba ba. If there's no new ones, I won't bother. But like, you know. BuzzFeed quizzes. What do we got? Won't lie, so far not a whole lot. I can't remember what I've done, like what ones I've done before. I found a few. Like, we're good. We're doing some. Ooh, banger. There's a lot of, we'll predict if you'll be single on Valentine's Day or not. Oh my god, Berry. Okay. For anybody else listening along, I am heavily watching the phenomenal TV show Eddie Stobart Trucks and Trailers, which is like like Ice Road Truck, like a documentary about people doing deliveries, right, is what it is. And so the brand Eddie Stobart is a big like truck firm in the UK, like a big haulage firm, I don't know. And they have merch, right? And because they do have fans, they do have some fans. And one of the things that they were talking about was they have an Eddie Stobart bedding set. Only in a single. Which I was like, okay, called out, question mark. Oh, wrong one, wrong monitor. Thank you. Just like only in a single because like, why would you have anything else? Why is that? Sorry, hang on. That's weird. There's a... Huh. You actually, interestingly, can't see it. But there's a little yellow box right around the border of my display when I'm on display capture. That is very weird. I've never seen that before. Okay, anyway. So what am I doing? I'm enjoying a dessert buffet and will guess your favourite song from High School Musical. Now, I know my favourite song from High School Musical 2, but I don't know my favourite one from High School Musical. If I was going to have any of them... Oh, we know somebody who loves that. I'd have cookies, I'm sorry. Oh, brownies. Yes, brownies. Sorry, brownies. I've gone on a bit of a sorbet lately. I'm liking a sorbet. It's gonna be chocolate cake, but not with a hole in the middle. Like, what are you doing? Wait, unless is that like... No. No, that's an insane statement. I'm not gonna say that. What is shaved ice? And that needs a smaller plate, like calm down. But what is that what it sounds like? Is that like... Oh, it's just, is it a snow cone? What's a snow cone and what's that? What's the difference? What is the difference? Was there an image for it? There is. Right, snow cones are in cones, thanks. Helpful. Okay, so snow cones are crunchy and shaved ice is soft and fluffy. Oh, I'd want the shaved ice. Yeah, I'd want shaved ice. Okay, thank you. Of those, yeah, I'm having shaved ice, okay. What's I don't know what marble cake is. What's marble cake? Sorry, we've reached the snow Googles things from the very sheltered life. What is marble cake? Because that looks nice. Vanilla and chocolate cake. Oh, I'd have that. Yeah, I'd have that. Marble cake, thank you. Breaking Free. You know what, maybe. That may be my favourite song. Start something new is pretty cool. Oh, but so let's get your head in the game and status quo. Oh, okay. Hi, Sabine. You've reached the BuzzFeed quizzes portion of the stream. We're doing... Well, what we've just done. Enjoy a dessert and we'll guess your favourite song from High School Musical. Which I'm sure you'll agree makes total sense. And apparently my favourite song is Breaking Free. But... I don't know, you know, because Stick to the Status Quo is pretty good. And Get Your Head in the Game is good as well, but it might be Stick to the Status Quo. That might be my favourite song. I do love me a BuzzFeed quiz. We'll pick your favourite desserts and we'll tell you where you should travel. Okay. Chocolate chip cookies are my favourite of those. Ice cream flavour. I think it was only the first one, Sabine. It was only High School Musical 1. Because if we're including High School Musical 2, Fabulous is up there, but I love Work This Out. Work This Out is my favourite one. Or Work It Out. Work It Out, not Work This Out. Yeah, Work It Out is my favourite High School Musical song. Of any of them. Of all the films. I love it. That's a good one too, yeah. Yeah, I guess it's strawberry. Like, that intrigues me, but I'm a bit scared. And, like, no, and probably not. So, I'm going strawberry. Barry, you're right. I do say I'm scared when it's a food that I don't like. That's probably something I should go to a therapist for. Right. Shut up. Okay. We can put that one behind us, but I do say I'm scared when I don't know a food. Ooh. Oh no, that's a problem, isn't it? And then banging the pants. Have you seen the video, Sabine, of like Work It Out without the music? And it's just them banging the fucking pants. Oh, it's so good. It's so good. Funny thing is, oh, go on, tell me. Do tell. I have a cherry pen on one bag to know every time I use that bag I think of cherry phobia. Oh, stop it. Stop it. I think I have. It's so good. It would probably get me copyright striked if I played it on stream. But it's good. Pick a go-to. You thought I'd frog roll, but I remember. Yeah. Is it just me that took a bit of a glance at the Virgin Atlantic advert? Sorry. I was like, what the fuck is on my screen? Right. Anyway, we're picking a go-to. Now, you see, my go-to would be cake, but if pancakes are on offer, I'm picking pancakes. So I guess they're my go-to, but I have cake more than pancakes. My ideal dessert setting. Ooh. Ooh. Now you see, luxury, more can go wrong. But I feel like it is that. If it was like a nice day, or especially nice night, like it is in the photo, I would love me a rooftop restaurant. Barry, in the summer, can we go to the Spoons with the roof, please? BuzzFeed quiz party. What is that? Is that a thing, or is that just we all do BuzzFeed quizzes? Because I'm down. We can. Okay, good. Excellent. Oh, berry sorbet. But berry sorbet is not a pastry, you melon. What are you on? What are you on? Ooh, noted. Let's do that sometime, because that sounds very fun. Oh, I could go to France. Okay. Your love for elegant and sophisticated desserts, like macarons and pear tarts, I didn't pick any of them, reflects France's timeless charm. Picture yourself sipping espresso at the Parisian cafe or exploring the patisseries of Lyon. That got me through lockdown. Okay, fair. Interesting. Right, interesting ones. We have 2 relationship ones lined up. People are sharing the petty red flags that made them end relationships. I want to know if you think they're valid. I don't think I did this one, did I? No. No, I've not done this one. Right. It isn't Googling. Ooh, what have you Googled? Before we get all the way in, what did you Google? I love judging people. Pinned. Pinned. There you go. Yes. That's going to welcome in the new people to the stream, isn't it? How to get in new people. Left and right statement are puns in the Japanese version too. Ooh, okay. Are they the equivalent joke of left and right? What am I doing? What am I doing? What am I doing? What am I doing? Just chatting. I'm changing. Just chatting. But very interesting. Okay, so a while ago, I asked people to share some of the pettiest reasons they broke up with their significant others. I got a ton of responses from, I don't know, that sounds pretty valid, to wow, you're a walking red flag. Have I ever listened to Reddit story podcasts? I haven't, Sabine. I get them on TikTok, and that's enough for me, because when you get like a really interesting Reddit title with a Minecraft parkour and the video's like 7 minutes long, it's so over. Okay, Sabine's sure, yes, yes. Hee sure. The first letters of the names are the Chinese reading of the country left from. Ah, okay, cool. Cute. Yo, it's like raining. I love this. Ooh, okay. Love that. I have no idea, Sabine. I don't know, but please don't spend any money. If it's linked, I feel like you don't have to. But I don't know, because my Prime sub is already being used this month, so I can't check. Next stream, you got that Prime coming. Oh, I appreciate you so much. Okay, so, yes, so, I'll be a pleb for a bit. Are you back, Sabine? Are you back? Because if you're back, we shall begin the BuzzFeed quiz. Another ad, calm down, Badals. Oh, I'm sorry. No. I do like this music. It's so good. Cute. EP. EP. You know what I haven't done in a long time? I haven't done Doctor Who Hoodle. Just screaming through the ads, you're so good. I gotta turn down my ad settings apparently, because ugh. No thanks. No thank you, adverts. Let's browse my Steam while we're waiting. I think my Steam, let's browse Steam. Because it's my favourite thing to do. Oh, Spider-Man 2 is now available. The 50 quid is... okay. Okay, you're back. Okay, cool. We were browsing Steam while we wait. Ooh. Oh, Wounda. What's gone wrong? What's wrong with this game? 2 goods in the game characters and make it okay. Right, okay, so it's rough, apparently. Interesting. I got a notification saying 2 of my games are on sale as well. Love that. No, Animal Crossing. Right, okay, quizzes, yes. So, because I love mess, I've decided to round up some of the very best, aka worst, submissions to let you decide whether they're truly petty. Let's do this. I broke up with her because it was too hard to park by her apartment. I think you're insane. Like, what are you doing? If that's the only... You need to get a grip. You have a shout-out button. What's a shout-out button? On Twitch? But that's... What are you doing? You've ripped shit up. You... suck. Ew. What? Huh? Ruh-roh. I don't want to do that. Since, when? Right, hang on. Fine, I will do it on not an incognito tab, but I don't like doing it on here. Yeah, it's only sign in, yeah. No, I don't want to sign up for a newsletter, BuzzFeed. Fuck off. Oh, fucking hell, I've already got an email. Welcome to BuzzFeed. How about welcome to fuck off? How to get started. Customize your profile. Explore content. Comment and connect. Create your own post or quiz. Unsubscribe. Get in the bin. No. It's not a payment. It's a sign in and give us everything. Right. Every time I touched her, I would smell of egg. Held hands, egg. Hugged her, my shirt would be smelling of egg. When I broke it off, the egg smelling stopped. What can cause a smell of egg? Because, like, I don't necessarily want to smell of egg, especially if it's, like, bad egg. Like, yeah, I don't want to smell of egg. Like, you know, there are definitely things that could get me to stay in a relationship with an eggy person. But that's not gonna attract me to a person if they smell of egg. Anyway, okay. Barry, you don't smell of egg, don't worry. I called it quits with a guy I'd been dating for 3 weeks because I literally had to teach him how to boil water. He was 29 years old and a civil engineer. Like, okay. I need more information on that because... do I... Right. So, I firmly... No, we're not. Sorry. Good point, Sabine. Thank you. Thank you. So, right, because I am a firm believer of if somebody doesn't know something and they want to learn, don't hold it against them. You got me. I appreciate it so much. Like, if somebody is willing to learn and it's something they should probably know but they don't, absolutely take the time to teach them. But 29, that is bad. And indicates they may not be willing to learn these things, really. I'm going to give it more information. But I am actually torn. Because, like, for something like that, it's bad. I have an iPhone. I broke up with this guy who has an Android because I can't stand read texts. That is petty, but he should break up with you because you're a wrong one. you're a wrong one. Like, it's petty, but I would break up with this person. If I was dating someone that had that attitude, I'd break up with them. Like, no. I dumped this guy. I've just read it. I dumped a guy after the second date because he licked his glasses to clean them. That's disgusting. Like, what's wrong with you as a person? What's wrong with 11% of people? Like, no. Like, my glasses have got bits on them. I don't know if you can see it, because I can't see the screen right now because I'm blind as fook. Can you see it? No, they look very clean. But, like, I've got dust and God knows what else on my glasses right now. I'm not licking that. Like, I'm not putting what's on the glasses on my tongue. Never mind what's on my tongue on the glasses. Like, no. Wrong. Vile behaviour. Don't they get very dirty when you do that? I'd imagine the glasses would be in worse. If I licked that right now, the glasses are going to be worse after than before I licked them. Vile. I once stopped dating someone when I found out he had a twin. I couldn't handle the fact that someone looked exactly like him. That's petty. Because you like them for the person, not what they look like. Well, you know, both. But, like, no. No. If that was like, I stopped dating someone because they found out I had a twin and wanted to have a threesome, like, that's fucked. That's fucked. But, like, you kind of do get it. Oh, okay, interesting. But, like, I don't, no, I wouldn't, it wouldn't, if it was like, you can't tell each other apart, it would make family functions a bit weird. We'd be Harvey Brown, okay, fair. I was a junior at high school, he was a senior. Yeah. He skipped on a date at the park. He didn't skip the date, he literally skipped. Like, alternately hopped on one leg. I ended things. Oh. Oh, wow. Wow, the fact as well that you're the younger one and he's just skipping around the park. Right, I don't know what I would do in the situation, but I don't judge this person for that. I don't know what I'd do. Like, well, how much skipping? Because if it's like a skip, then, you know, it's okay. But if you're skipping the whole way round, I couldn't have that. I couldn't have it. My friend refused to go on a date with a guy because the guy liked sushi. It didn't matter that they wouldn't be going to eat sushi. He just couldn't fathom going on a date with anyone who had at one point in their life or another eaten sushi. That's just an ick, it is just an ick. Okay, the real question here is, Barry, have you ever eaten sushi? This is a very important question to ask right now. I've not. Oh, amazing. That's disgusting. Then break up with them. No. I feel like, you know, what are you doing? Like, right. I don't know where this comes from, because I don't like trying new foods. If I was going to try new food, for some reason, I wouldn't mind trying sushi. But I don't know why, because it feels like quite a big one to try, because it's cold. But I think I'd be up for that. So I think that is actually petty, on a real level. Like, you can't expect your partner to never eat sushi and have never eaten sushi before your relationship either. Like, no. I think it said there's like 40 of these, right? It says 40. Where have I got 40 from? Because it doesn't say 40 anyway. Right, yes, I did read it. His name was Mario and he was a plumber. I just couldn't do it. That's so petty. Like, what? What do you mean 28% of people being like, yeah, I'm going to break up with him because he's Mario and he's a plumber? Like, if he wore the fit, that's like, you know, okay, maybe you've got a bit of a complex going on. But if that's your name and your profession, shut up. Shut up. Shut up. I'm not going to date somebody called Judy who's a judge. Like, you know, sure, if I liked a Judy that was a judge. Yeah. What do you mean? I know, it's so good. But, like, this poor Mario is just out here looking for love. And no. Imagine if he's, like, proper from New York, like from the original Mario movie as well. Like, oh, that'd be so good. I stopped casually dating a guy because he took 30 minutes to decide which omelette he wanted at IHOP. Like, once or regularly? Because, like, I do be a victim of decision paralysis. But, like, if it's every time, then you're going to need to look at the menu while you're still at home. Like, 9 times out of 10, when I go somewhere to eat, I've looked at the menu online and I'm going in with a plan. Like, anyway. But if you're going to take that long, you need to do it in advance. Because, like, I'm hungry and I want to eat food. Like, you're going to get left. Like, I'm going to order first and you're just going to have to deal with it. I don't know. Do we have a look at an IHOP menu? IHOP. Nope. IHOP. What? Sick website. Omelets. Yeah, I'm a fucking... Really? Really? I've been blocked from going on IHOP. Thanks. Thank you for that. I have been blocked from IHOP. Is it because I didn't go to IHOP? IHOP menu Orlando. Here we go. Right, well, they've got so much French toast that it kind of scares me. Okay, now it's let me in. Menu. If I click menu, I get blocked. If I'm on a specific... Oh, I'm so baffled. I don't understand. Right, start order. Oh, I can't. Why is that? Okay, I'm on the next best thing. I'm on Uber Eats. I'm on Uber Eats for 11793 International Drive. Why do you need 11,000 addresses on a street? Calm down. Right, what did we say? We said omelets, didn't we? How many are there? 36, counted them myself. Right, so you can build your own, which is already, you know, off to a phenomenal start. Big steak omelette. What the fuck you doing? Your hunger won't be at stake with this one. No, I don't want to do that. Our omelette plus stuffed with steak, hash browns, green peppers, onions, mushrooms, tomatoes, cheddar cheese. You need to calm down. Wait, I think I've driven down that road. Sorry, I've gone from side quest to side quest. Maps. I don't live there. I don't know what you mean there, brother. Or I don't know what you mean, brother. Right. Am I going to recognize somewhere that I was 9 years ago? No, but I did go on a big-ass road, and I think it was called International Drive. And I think there was an IHOP on it. Let me have a little investigate. Who's that guy in the picture? I don't know what you mean. Oh, that little guy. I have no idea who that is. You know, I think I've found where we stayed when I went to Florida. Huh. Cool. I forgot it was called International Drive. Maybe it's not even there. Maybe it just isn't there. Right, we're going to need to talk about this off stream, Barry, because actually have we? Because that's very cute. Right, where did we go? We went in somewhere and we went in the wrong place. Oh yeah, same strip. Did you say on there? Because that's very cute, if so. It would be crazy if it was the same hotel. Well, was it a hotel? Because ours wasn't a hotel, it was just like a place, and it had its own... Like, where we stayed had its own kitchen, and you could just, like, stay there. Oh, I don't... It's been so long, I don't really remember. If it was one of these. I think you had to drive... Because we went in somewhere and it was the wrong place and they said, no, go up the road. Sorry, we will get back to the IHOP menu side questing soon. You know, I've got no idea. Right. Thanks, Google, for showing my rough area on Google Maps when I opened incognito. Love that. Anyway, okay. So, Colorado omelet, bacon temptation omelet, spicy poblano, spinach and mushroom, chicken fish fajita, veggie. Right, okay, so there's 8 menu items, but a build your own as well. Why is that? So I can have standard or egg whites. Choose your cheese, and there's like 5 options. And then add-ons. And additions on top of the add-ons. Then you choose your side. Right. Half an hour's a bit much. Like, steady on. Like, calm down. I don't know, would it? Probably, I suppose. Well, I don't know, because we're never going to be able to see it, are we? Yeah, but half an hour. Like, I gave it I need more information. But half an hour is it's a bit much. I ended it with a guy because he always had eye boogers. I couldn't look at them anymore. All I saw was a feature of me telling me to clean his eyes. Right, I do hate that Americans call them eye boogers. Because... bleh. Like, how bad? Yeah, how bad? Because, like, if it's crust, then, no, I can't cope. But if it's just, like, a little bit, I could deal with that. I ended things with a guy because he was allergic to both cats and pine. I couldn't imagine a world which I had to get rid of my cats or have a fake Christmas tree. Alright, if you already have cats, then yeah, that's fair. That's valid. Christmas trees, get a grip on yourself. The cats, yes. Christmas trees, no. Yeah, no. Cats are valid, especially if you already have one. Like, if I can make this more personal now. Barry, if you had an allergy to cats, I would still date you. Because I don't have a cat. But, like... fake Christmas trees are better. I don't think I'd agree with that. I do like a real Christmas tree, but not one that drops needles. But I wouldn't go as far as to say a fake one's better. I would not say that. But I've never had to deal with a real Christmas tree. Like, loading it into the back of a car and... don't have any allergy, you have nothing to worry about. Actually, Snow breakup live on stream. I think I'm a little bit allergic to cats. A little bit. Because whenever I leave my cousin's house, I feel like I've got hay fever. And I'm like, oh. But like a little bit. So like, please don't break up with me. Because it's only a little bit. But like... and my dad is allergic to cats. That is very much true. My dad's allergic to cats. So like, it's looking a bit bad. But I feel like you should know that. Right, once broke up with a guy because he said John Mayer is the greatest musician of our generation. I don't even know who you are. Fixable with allergy pills. Bestie, I'm fucking on them. I'm on them. It's the one that I take, and I take it all year round. No, to be fair, I don't know how I actually am with cats. Around cats with allergy meds. Barry, we should go to the cat cafe, but actually, I need to go with Blair because I've been promising Blair for literally the entire time I've known her that we're going to go to the cat cafe. So I need to do that with Blair. Please, can we? Right, I actually need to go with Blair first because if I go with you and not Blair, Blair's going to murder me. I've never been at all. Cat cafe is so fun. I've never been. It's fine, okay. Right, I need to go to Cat Cafe with Blair and test whether I'm allergic to cats. And then if I am allergic to cats, I'm going to get broken up with. So, let's hope I'm not. Right, who is John Mayer and what songs has he done that I've heard of? I've been for I Can Wait, okay. I don't recognise your face. What songs have you done? I don't know, but I'm seeing a lot of 2006. And a Las Vegas tour. Okay. I don't know who you are. Is he? Okay. Oh, cute. Yeah, Barry, you go with Sabine. Right, I need more information, but specifically more information on who the fuck John Mayer is. Okay, interesting. Maybe that is why. I just assumed, like, you don't actually like the songs. But I ended it because, oh no, all the words in every text are all capitalized like this. Trust me, it got annoying. I don't know if Twinkly Toes still lurking, but didn't somebody do that? in like messages to Vic, and in mod chat we all absolutely roasted the guy and then banned him. Not because of that, but somebody did that to Vic, I swear. I'm not going insane, am I? Let me search in mod chat in case it's there. Mod chat. Maybe not. I feel like somebody's done it somewhere, but that search in Vic's Discord has given me no results. Literally though, it's so... Oh shit, you're in Discord. Sorry. Sus on there, was there? No, mod chat's fine. Not me leaking mod chat, oops. Oops. No, it's chill. Okay. I feel like... Well, yeah, Sabine, like... Why would you do that? I'm having a skill issue, Barry. It's all gone wrong. I feel like that is, a sign of deep psychological issues if you do that and don't see anything wrong with it. Like, what are you doing? I went on a date with a guy who couldn't parallel park in a spot twice the size of his car. I saved it for him, and he wouldn't even attempt to do it. The date was over before it began. I offered to guide him into the spot, order it for him, he still refused. We ended up parking 3 blocks away, when I'd scored him parking directly in front of the bar. Oh, wound up, we've lost Sabine. Sabine, please don't. Please do not. If you're in are you in ad jail right now? Like, please no. Please no. It's like... Sabine will be getting roasted in mod chat next, truly. I feel like I need more info. Well, offered to guide him in or do it for him and he refused. That's a bit... You know, like, if you're new to driving... If you're new to driving, that's fine. Yeah. Or accept help from the person. Like... I feel like it's a bit... Like, if you can't parallel park, that's okay. That's fine. I can't, because I've never been behind the wheel of a car. I can't do that. But maybe she knows to fail. Yeah, but if you got the help of the person, then it's like, no, you've... Like, because if you can't drive, if you can't parallel park, alright, but the way you went about you not being able to parallel park, thumbs down. Thumbs down. I stopped dating him because he made bad tacos. I'm half Mexican. He had the audacity to say he could make better tacos than I could. He used raw flour tortillas, shredded cheddar mix, shredded lettuce, and canned salsa. No thanks. Again, the people don't help themselves. Because if somebody is just not good at making tacos, then okay. But if you're gonna be shit at it, and then be like, oh, I can do it better than you. And, like... Because it could be cute to teach them. It could be. It could be so cute. Especially if there's, like... If you've got Mexican heritage, and the other guy hasn't. Like, you know, that can be cute to introduce each other to new things. Absolutely. But if you're like, oh, I can do it better than you. It's... Maybe bro did not engage his brain. But, like... It... I'm gonna go with petty, but if it was a pattern, then give him the kick. I dated a guy for a few weeks till he decided to climb on the decor in the movie theatre and jump off like he was a ninja. Nope, you're gone. I could not deal with that, with being associated with somebody who climbs on the decor in a movie theatre and jump off like a ninja. No. No. Absolutely not. Literally get around my theatre, absolutely. Like, I will have a photo taken with Spider-Man and pull a pose if Spider-Man is there for a photo shoot op. As we know I have done. But no, I'm not having that. I broke up with this guy because on the second day he'd quoted the entirety of the B movie. He also hung mistletoe in his apartment and said we had to kiss. It was April, he was 24. That's valid. Like, you know, down for some memes, but if you quote the entirety of B movie, like, that film's an hour and a half. And the mistletoe thing is weird. The mistletoe thing is a... I don't understand social situations. Like... Right. The actions that are displayed in this message makes me feel like it's the type of person who doesn't see anything wrong with what's taken place there. So... No, pop it. I'm gone. That's a bit much for me. I once ended a guy when he picked me up and refused my GPS directions. I felt like we were going the wrong way, but he said he hadn't needed them. Needless to say, he went the wrong way for another 5 minutes until I definitively said, this is the wrong way, I'm going to give you directions. Barry. Barry's mum. No. No, that's not what happened. That's a misrepresentation of events. I apologise, Your Honour, but the first time Barry's parents dropped me at my house, it wasn't my house. No, it's valid, because if you're going to be a knob about directions, just no. No, if you're one of those, like, I know where I'm going, I don't need a sat-nav. Probably, like, the sat-nav voice is a man, because you won't have a woman tell him what to do. He's probably one of those people, you know. He's probably one of them. I'm sorry, Barry, I'm sorry. I ended it with a guy because he didn't understand why I liked breakfast for dinner. No, that's petty. I got out of random house. No, so Barry put my... Right. So, we were in the back. Barry's mum put my address into the sat-nav. But then, she was wearing a coat, and the sleeve of the coat tapped the screen in a different place. And so the sat-nav dropped a pin, and that's where it took us to. It took us to the pin. So when we got there, it was close to my house. But I did have to say, this isn't my house. The sat-nav... Well, before we got there, I was like, the sat-nav's not quite taking us to the right place. If you drive to the end of this road, if you just drop me off, I'll walk right. You can go back left to, you know, to your... Go back towards yours, because that's the direction they needed to go. I was like, I'll just walk the last little bit, and it's fine. And then I got a long text off Barry like, oh my god, I'm so sorry, I'm so embarrassed. I was like, it's fine. It's fine, don't you worry. No, it's fine, it's fine, it's fine. Right, sorry, yeah, I didn't answer this. So, you have breakfast for dinner. What do you have? Because if you're just having cereal as your, like, evening meal, you're a bit of a wrong one, and the guy should break up with you. It's so funny. I think I handled it very well. I think I made light of the whole situation, and in the moment was like, I don't know why the sat-nav's done that. When in my head I was like, it's because your sleeve tapped the screen. I'm surprised they never mentioned it. That's fair. Right, because that's what I mean. What is it? Because as well, as like a British person, if you're having like bacon and eggs for dinner, that's fine. But if you're having just like, if you're doing your day, if you're like working your 9 to 5, then you're coming home and you're gonna have like a bowl of Cocoa Pops, you're a bit fucked. Now they know where you live. They'd be like, why the fuck did we end up there? That's fair. I mean, because it was close enough, especially where they actually dropped me. Because they can probably work out, you know, where they dropped me is just on that one road, isn't it? It's just on that one road, because that's then where you drove back to yours. So, like, it's only a few minutes away. They probably just like, oh, maybe the postcode's a bit wonky, or maybe my daughter's partner's an idiot and gave us the wrong... Like, I don't know. I don't know what they think happened, if they even think anything at all. But I know what happened, and I didn't want to make a big thing of it in the moment that your mum just tapped the screen with her sleeve and dropped a pin. Funny. Right, I won't stop seeing someone because he didn't like my lip gloss. I'm not giving my lip gloss up for some random I barely know. Mother never wear that coat again. Like, your mother's got a thing about coats though, hasn't she? We know this. So, Right, this one... If it's someone you barely know, if like... Right, if you're on the fence about somebody, absolutely, no, get rid. If you're like, I think I could spend the rest of my life with this person, but he doesn't like lip gloss, get a grip on yourself. Like, it depends on your feelings for a guy, but if it's a random you barely know, then I'm giving it to you, that's okay. That is okay. I couldn't date someone who liked ketchup because I have an issue aversion to ketchup, almost a phobia. What the fuck? How do you... What? Huh? What do you mean you have an extreme aversion to ketchup? Like, that's the thing, because phobias are absolutely so valid. I don't get ketchup. Ow. Like, if you've got a real, genuine... Like, if ketchup is gonna, for whatever the reason being, really, like, impact your life, then, you know, okay. But, like, if it's, like, the other one that was, like, oh, sushi, like, that's not valid. If it's, like, if it's... I don't know, Because if it's something like... Because, like, the sushi one, it's a bit like, oh, get a grip on yourself. No. But if it's something like that that is, like, a big thing, then, you know, like, okay. Yeah. I was on a date and he offered to do a cartwheel. He said, I said, I really didn't need to see him do a cartwheel, but he did it anyway. Me and my friend called me, pretended to be my mother, and left immediately. That's true. Yeah, that's true with the sushi person. That is very true. No. I don't think I'd break up with somebody who's doing a car. Well, if you're like on a walk in a park, then yeah, like do a cartwheel, kind of fun. But if it's like, you know, you're in like a restaurant, Barry, can you do a cartwheel? If you can do a cartwheel, I want to see that. If you can do a cartwheel, I would love, well, maybe not in the flat because you know how small it is in here. But if you can do a cartwheel, yes, show me that. Thank you. They're called a cartwheel because the cartwheel goes all the way around. Oh, I'm so silly. You can't remember? Okay, fair. Yeah, I don't know, maybe you just, like, when you were little, you were like, I want to learn how to do a cartwheel, I want to learn how to do this. And it's like a skill that you've never lost. Maybe, you know, it could happen. I think that's a bit petty. And finally, I don't want this one to end. I'm enjoying this one. I've never been able to do a cartwheel. Like, properly. I've never been able to do one. I can't, like, send it. Like, I can do a forward roll. That's what you're going to get out of me. I can do a forward roll. Finally, I stopped seeing someone because he was allergic to peanut butter. No, that makes you a wrong one. I couldn't imagine going the rest of my life without Reese's peanut butter cups. Fuck yourself. I can do as well. Nice, love that. Like, I can't, no. No, because, like, right, okay, especially for that, because it's a snack. That's not a meal, that is a snack. Like, just find another snack. Well, does it depend how allergic? Because, like, I've got that thing where, like, pineapple makes my mouth feel spicy. Not spicy, but, like, yeah. So, like, I don't want to necessarily... Well... No, I retract the statement I was about to make. Because if somebody, like... Still, just get another snack. I know, just have more snacks. That's very true. But, like, because it's a snack... Well, okay, so, like, my thing with, like, pineapple, Barry, if you ate some pineapple, and then, I don't know, if, like, something happened, like, I'm sure I'd be fine, because, like, I suppose that level of allergy is alright. But it must be the type of allergy where this guy has said, okay, on a real level, you can't eat them. I feel like you've, like... I feel like... But the fact that you can't imagine going the rest of your life without Reese's peanut butter cups. No. Like, no. Because there's so many snacks in the world. Other than peanut butter things. Like, just have chocolate. Just have crunchy biscuits. Just have... cakes, have some fruit, have some... Like, no, get a grip. Get a grip on yourself. It's fucking 1 in the morning. What's happened there? Sabine, it's 2 in the morning. Pa, it's 3 in the morning.
Go to bed.
That snuck up on me. My god. Right, okay, well, we have one more to do. Design a super bougie house, and I'll guess your love language. Okay. Pick an exterior. Ooh, okay. What's your excuse? I had a closing shift. It's a lot earlier than your closing shift, but I had a closing shift. Berry starts work at 7:30 in the morning. Right, it's either 1 or 4. I don't know. I don't know, 1 or 4, because, like... If it was slightly lighter, I'd maybe go that one, but I think I'm going to go that one. I think I'm going to get that one. I'm sorry, I'm going that one. Pick a garden. Gotta be honest, I can't see much of any of the gardens. That one's got a winding path. I'm going that one. Pick a potted plant for your windowsill. Flowers. Yeah, flowers. Like a kitchen. Ooh. Can't really go wrong. I need handles on my doors. I'm sorry. I need handles. I lived in a place for a year that didn't have handles on the doors. It was fucked. Didn't like it. I think that one's a bit too dark. I don't think that one's a bit not quite right, so I'm actually going to go for that one. I'm going that one. Pick a rug. I don't really like rugs. But that one looks like the least offensive to my feet. So I'm going to go for that one. Finally, pick a bedroom. That one's quite nice. I like that one. Words of affirmation. Ooh. 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 Literally, for the rugs. Like, I don't know. Like, I'm going off the texture. That looks like it's going to scratch a bit. And so does that one. Like, that one looks like the fluffiest material. Should I be taking notes? Maybe. Maybe. Perhaps, maybe. I don't know. I don't know. Right. I need to end the stream because I need to eat an apple. I need to go to bed. I need to read an essay from my friend Emma. I know, exactly, right? Exactly. This is very damaging to my mental health. I don't know. Literally, I want some nice words for once, thank you. Okay, so we are going to end stream. I'm going to be brave, and I'm going to raid somebody tonight, okay? I'm going to go and raid Madison, because I don't know if I've ever raided her before, but I love Madison. So we're going to go raid her, because she's awesome. And she's playing Kingdom Hearts, which is not a scary game. Hi, Vic! Hello! We're going to go raid Maddie, because Maddie, we love Maddie. And Kingdom Hearts, yes. I say that I'm going to go to bed, because sleep. But yes, that's the plan. So, thank you for being here, everybody. I might, big word might, do a morning stream tomorrow, like I've done earlier this week. If you would like to know about the morning streams, I've made a new role in my Discord called Footage. If you want to get pinged for those happening, you can get pinged in the Discord. That's about all, I think. Yeah, so maybe 3D World stream tomorrow. Oh, well, I say morning. It will be like, for you, Sabine, it will be like 1 PM. Maybe even 1:30. If it happens. But yes, that is the plan. So, I will see you all very soon. Maybe sooner than you think. We're going to go raid Madison. If you would like to raid, I have a raid message. There is your raid message, everybody. So, thank you for being here. I will end the stream, and I will see you all very soon. Love you. Berry's not typing anything because she's hovered over the squeak button. I just want you all to know that. Oh, she typed. Ignore me. Okay, bye!
Squeak.